All right, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. I am your host, Augustine Sharif, and I am here with my good friends, my brothers, and Dr. George, Emmanuel Tige George, and G. Emmanuel Sapalucia. I still don't know what that G stands for, but I know Emmanuel Sapalucia. And
George.
today, if you are joining us, chances are you are listening to us on YouTube. You are also listening to us on Facebook, and you can catch us live on Freedom FM 87.9. Today, we have a special guest in studio. Mr. Trokon Gray is going to be joining us, and he is the president of the Supreme Motorcyclist Union of Liberia. We are going to be talking about the resurging protest and the plan and what has been done to actually curtail the situation. And we want to see what are these guys fighting for. So this is the edition we call Table Talk. So let me introduce my friends. They don't need any introduction, but I'll bring them on screen. Mr. George in studio. Dr. George, how are you doing today, sir? If you can bring those guys on screen.
I'm
Dr.
doing
George,
great.
how you doing today, boss?
I'm doing great. Thank you. This the beautiful time of the year, so it's okay. It's good. Good afternoon to those of you in
Awesome.
Liberia on 87.9, YouTube and Facebook.
All right, so I want all you guys, your internet got to be stable today. I don't want no in and out going. I will get you off the show if your internet start acting up. So you better call Steven now to fix it. Dr. Sapalucia, I call you doctor because you always wear the white coat. So I will give you that honorary doctor. How you doing,
Thank you.
boss?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. So the G, I told you before that G is Emmanuel George's full name, Emmanuel George Sapulse. So I got his full name, whether you like it or not. But anyway, it's good to be back.
I don't know. The born counted people with George name. I don't know, but go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So we sprung into another hour. So at least my face will be shown on the Sunday edition of Liberation Rise most of the time. Unlike when we go backward, I don't know how we'll call that fall. When we fall back, then I will disappear for some time. But it's great to be here, and I look forward to talking to this guest. And I want to again say thank you for our audience for always being there to listen to our voices here. I hope it's meaningful to them. And thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to be here.
All right, so we'll bring our guest on, and let's start the question going. Mr. Gray, can you hear us? Mr. Gray, I see you moving, but I'm not hearing you. So I don't know if you can hear us. We're not hearing
I'm,
you. Your voice. Okay.
I'm getting you clear. I'm getting you clear. Yes, I'm
All
getting
right.
you.
Great to have you on the segment. This is the segment we call table talk. So we just want to have a conversation. We'll be asking you some questions. And but before we get into it, though, just give me maybe just kind of tell us what does our beautiful city, Monrovia, what is the circumstances and how are situation in Monrovia today before going to our discussion?
So, today is cool. Many people are home and they went to service. I mean, the city is quiet for now because today is not a working day anyway. So everything is cool for now.
All right, so we do have three of us on the panel. So it's me, Mr. Emmanuel Sapalutia, and again we are all Liberians. So we wanted to come and discuss the situation that we have been seeing in Monrovia, and I will let Dr. George actually lead up with the conversation. But what we want to talk about, first before Dr. George comes in, I want you to introduce yourself because that's what we're going to start the question. Introduce yourself and let's start your fight. What are you fighting for, and what is it that you do? And then we'll go straight into our questioning this afternoon.
So again, let me say good evening to our friends who are following the live coverage through the Freedom Family. Good evening to you following through YouTube, Facebook, whatever medium you are using to follow this unique platform. I want to say good evening to our motorcyclists out there. Well, for the listening audience and those of you first time seeing me, my name is Trokon Great. I'm popularly called Yellow Machine. I am a motorcyclist. I currently serve as the president of Supreme Motorcycle Transport Union of Liberia, and the lead campaigner for our people's freedom. As you may be aware, the government unconstitutionally restricting our movement, and for us, we have chosen to defend our colleagues, taking into consideration our role as president of the union. Part of our responsibility is to make sure that our peoples are protected and their livelihood to some extent is protected, because as leader of the sector, I mean, one of the cardinal responsibilities is to make sure that the enabling environment is provided for our people.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction, Dr. George. Yeah, let's start the question. We have our guest in studio. Let's start the question. And you heard his position, you heard what the cause he's fighting for. So let's start from there and let's just go do the roundtable discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Gray, nice to meet you, and thank you for taking off time on your busy schedule to be with us this evening. Let me know a bit about your association. When was your association established, and how many members do you have in the association?
So this institution was established in 2013, and our membership before this before the restriction, we had approximately around 41,000 nationwide. But due to our role, most especially with what we are involved with advocacy, making sure that we are not in the business of the regular quote unquote collecting tickets that cannot be accounted for us. We are involved with advocacy. We are involved with asking partners, international NGOs, World Meaning Librarian to provide educational opportunity for our young people. Taking into consideration most of all that right back, we are either educated or not educated, or probably don't have opportunity. And so for us, in our own institution, we feel the best way we can be a help to our young people who are riding back is to basically focus on vocational education, because when you start riding back and you start making family, I mean, sometimes you find it difficult to go back and sit down in classroom and to do the regular academic and primary schooling. So most of the time, our advocacy is basically about vocational education, because what happens is that when a man have career, I mean, he could make a change, he could make a turnaround, right? But if he just, I mean, ride back, because trust me, for now, he have the energy. The young people who are riding back, they have the energy. They can hold it back. Maybe two person can come on about it. Energy is there for now. What happened 10 years from now? What happened 20 years from now? Where his energy is going to deplete here. So you have to put them in a position that at least tomorrow, if he's tired, he can ride back. He can connect somebody wire. And he can probably go and do some of the plumbing work. So for us as Supreme, our focus is how the future can be, I mean, pay serious attention to, because this is part of government responsibility. Because most of us who are young people who are riding the back, trust me, we don't want to ride back. Some people see the motorcycle riding as a fallback position or as the only alternative, because there's the only sector you have. You don't need probably any qualification to be a bike rider. So it's an open sector.
Mr. Gray, I'm so sorry that I interrupted you. I know definitely we're going to go into the meat of this, and I want Dr. George. I think he just wanted your introduction, and he wanted to know, because I know he's coming back with additional questions. So we'll get into it. So Dr. George, continue.
Yeah, and I think you're doing great. Thank you to that point. And yes, to Mr. Sharipan, we're definitely going to have
voice privacy contents have been updated.
But so you have 41,000 members before the shutdown started, which is great. I mean, that's a lot of people you are leading. That's a whole district. I mean, according to how we separate district in Liberia. So congratulations on your preferment. My next question will be: there are how many bikers association we have in Liberia or in the Monrovia area?
So we have like 13 bike association in Liberia,
Okay.
and for your information, out of the 13 different unions that came together and formulated a federation, and that is called the National Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Association of Liberia. And my institution, which is the Supreme, is a constituent, union of the National Federation. And so, I mean, we are cool. We are cool.
Okay, so I know we came to discuss the strike action, and I hope we can discuss what you were saying, because it's very important what you were saying initially for me, I'm sure from other panelists. So at this time, you have you are one of the 13 federation. So of members of the Federation of Motorcyclists and Tricycle. So in your organization, do you also have tricycles as part of your the Supreme?
Oh yes, we had tricycle part of our institution. And like I was saying, our membership have grown over time. Like I said, the last time we did our own statistic as to our membership, that was in 2013. Before the first restriction on bike riders, and that when we had like the 40,000 membership, and so the membership increased. We did a survey by 2022, and we had over 200. Let's say 20. That was in 2022. Yes, 2022, and we had our membership at triple. Our membership at triple. To something around at least 75 to 80,000 members. So looking at our role in recent time, and people pulling in because of our stand, and for cyclists, the membership keep increasing, and I can say clearly that very soon our institution is taking over the nation gradually, because many of our bike riders who ride both the motorcycle and the tricycle, they are now seeing reason to be a member of our institution. In fact, to some extent, they now seeing instead of them running to the federation, now they are running to our institution, because they believe that we have always stood by them, not just today. And so, to some extent, our membership is growing on a daily basis.
Okay, Mr. Sabalusia, go ahead. Mr. Sabalusia, go ahead and come in with 2 questions, because I really want us to get into the meat of this. I don't want us to lose track of time. So go ahead, Sabalusia. Mr. Sabalusia, we're not hearing you. You are muted, I think.
Oh, Tower. So thank you, sir, for giving all your time and giving your voices to lending your voices to those in Liberia that listen to you. So my question to you in regard to what you just talked about, with all the many unions that you have in Liberia, and you have the National Federation. So my question is, what your strike is, or the purpose of your strike, is it supported by the National Federation?
To some extent, I would say yes, and I would say no. If the question is in twofold, why no? The federation distanced themselves from our first protest action on ground that, best known to themselves, they believe that they should continue dialoguing. For us as institution, our institution, we meet as different counties coordinator, and our decision is made by these different counties coordinator. It is not just probably me as Yellow Machine being the president, so I just take decision. No, it is not like that, right? So the mother federation, which is NAFONTA, okay, they have their executive committee members, though we are part of the federation, but our institution as constituent member, we choose to use the protest action as a means of solving the problem, and to call the government attention, because the institution, I would say yes, because the lawyer representing NAFONTA cover our institution. They do representation on behalf of us as constituent member of NAFONTA. But my disagreement with the union is the federation is to have a press conference, thereby distancing NAFONTA from our protest action. And so I would say no, I would say yes. So that's my point.
So my follow-up question. Yeah, my follow-up question would be, if you guys at the top, because you are under the umbrella of the National Federation, And if you guys are not going with one voice, what message do you think it sends, one, to the government and all other unions within the country if you guys are not together? What message do you think you guys are sending?
So I think the greater the louder voice, or the highest number of people that are probably looking in our direction is what the government should be looking at, not just probably looking at the federation. Because to some extent, I don't want to say it, but I must say it, to some extent our people have started getting the feeling that the federation is compromised with government, and that's why the membership are put into a constituent union, right? Because the government came up with this policy, I think this is the 4th week, and without having consultation with the federation, none of the leaders were in the know, and the police just came up with a decision. So what happened is that you put us in a position to probably get fragmented, where not coming out with one voice, because our membership started mounting severe pressure on us. You getting it? Because once too money just leave for your see police all around the street arresting back, whether you are aware of the reason or not, police just start arresting your back. So what we believe the federation could have done was to call us that have the bigger membership, right? Let's see what we can do. Call other union officials on board. What can we do? Government are taking the decision. They don't come in uniformity, but wherein you go, you discuss with the Senate told you don't protest, we will solve the problem. 1 week gone, 2 weeks gone. What become our membership? Who cannot find a louder who? So for us as institution, yes, it will send a sound that we are not together. But again, our institution, we don't take decision on the basis of what the federation say. Because we have our institution. Going to the federation, they have not taken away our membership or our leadership. So for us as SUMTUL, we met as executive committee members, different county coordinator, and we choose to initiate the protest action. And because of this protest action, we are already getting results.
All right. So, Mr. Gray, let's go to the protest now. I think it's a good segue into the protest. Let's go right into the protest and talk about the protest. Look, when it comes down to it, I myself, when I was in Liberia in recent year, I used motorcyclists. I do understand, the danger there, because sometimes these guys weave in and out of traffic. And when I was with a motorcyclist, I made sure I knew exactly who that motorcyclist was, and I will tell them, I said, be very gentle, be very careful. I'm visiting, and I'm not in any rush. If you think you want to take me and then come back, I will pay for the 2 round trips, so that way you don't have to rush. Take your time. And they were very respectful. Those guys were very respectful. I met a guy by the name of Michael. He was my guy. He always came and picked me up. So every time I needed him, I would just call him. Very educated guy from the University of Liberia, and this is what he was doing. And so I respected most of the things that were happening in the country. But I want to go to recent protests that just took place. The question my friend Emmanuel Sapalucia asked is very important, because if you fall under the National Federation, you are a child to that federation. Now, in this case, are you gaining your independence? Are you breaking away from the federation? And in this case, because this particular protest is being spearheaded by Supreme. So is Supreme its full voice now? Are you breaking away from the federation?
So that decision is going to be made by our institution. I think that we started that conversation looking at, because we owe all to our membership. What makes us union or federation is the motorcyclists. And so if something affects them or is affecting them, and they are seeing somebody is trying to be compromised, or probably because of some other reason, I think we are on an obligation to look at these decisions. But to just come here now and say we want to disassociate from the federation, that decision has not been made. And like I said, we started that discussion, and if the determination is made and it is concluded, we'll definitely leave the federation. But at about this time, we are still with the federation. Our issue is for the federation to disagree openly, thereby distancing themselves, knowing very well that our membership are also their members.
All right, so I'll ask my follow-up question. I'm going to bring Mr. Sapalucia in because I want us to stay on the protest here for a little bit. What are your demand? Why are you protesting? What are you protesting for? What have you done that you feel like the government is trying to take away from you? And what is your demand at this point in time? What are you protesting against?
So again, I want to say thank you for that beautiful question. We are protesting for three different things, or we are making three different demands constitutionally, and one that has to do with lifting of the ban. It is our understanding that the ban is illegal, and that's why the Inspector General of Police openly said on national radio that it is temporary. That is not justifiable. You violate people's right, and then you say you just violating a right temporarily. That is unfair. That is illegal. The government has no authority to do that, to just ban people because of other people's action. We believe crimes are not transferable, and that's why we are asking the government to lift up this ban respectfully, that we have always done. Our next demand is to release our people's motorbike that were arrested illegally. Chief, there's no legal backing to arrest somebody motorbike because of other people's action. No legal backing. I'm not a lawyer, and I can't pretend to be one. Well, I want to see that provision of the law that says crimes are transferable. Never. So people can go commit crime and then everybody say, oh, you're responsible. Our next demand is to have justice. For too long, motorcyclists have been marginalized in this country. For too long, people are hit our people car intentionally, hit our people with their vehicle intentionally. Sometimes you find police officers openly harassing our people in the street. These things are happening consistently. And so there is a time now we are asking our government to give us justice. Look in the street, Chief. Police officers are staying in the street with sticks in their hands. You don't see these things tomorrow. We travel to other countries. We are privileged. We go to other countries. We go to nearby countries. You don't see police officers staying in the street with sticks in their hands as if they are hunting for criminals. Even the criminal, the law cover them. They should be protected. They are innocent until proven guilty. So for us, we think that this is the best time that we can call our government attention for them to listen to us. This is unfair. You see police officers in the street and intentionally they are on camera knocking their own brother, they call motorcycle, knocking their heads with sticks. They are harassing on a daily basis. And so for us, we are asking the government to lift up the ban. The ban is illegal. There is no other way we can say that. The bag that I arrested, the over 2,000 that I arrested, must be released. You can't arrest other people because of other people's action. So that's our demand. The three demand we are asking the government to listen to us. Respectfully, we respect our president, and that's why we are begging him to please lift up this ban.
Mr. Sapalucia, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's good that you are the representative, because from my own assessment, you sound eloquent and you are making your points. Now, the constitutional validity is something that we may have differences on, because I don't know where there is a constitution that provides that motorcyclists travel the main street. But let me ask you this. From your assessment, why do you think the government has taken this stand to ban motorcyclists from venturing into certain areas?
So I have no other way. I'm not in the business of preempting government. What is in their mind, what they speak out of their mouths, government official is what I take. And so the police inspector general said he's temporarily banning back because of motorcyclists who got angry because one of their friends got killed, and then when they took the law in their hand, thereby destroying government property. And we condemn that. We believe nobody should take the law in their hands, no matter how angry you can be. These are some of the things that got our country backward. People who believe that they were in disagreement with the government, they put the country into mess. And so for me, as a young person who believes that Liberia should move forward, I can never ever support any form of violence, no matter how angry we can be. Nobody should go and destroying police booth or destroying checkpoint that people spend taxpayer money on. It is wrong. And we have said that repeatedly. I can never support any form of violence. But guess what? We can be talking about violence and another form of violence being meted against us. There is another form of violence. Chief, what if motorcycle was not peaceful and they probably start going after people all in the communities? What are we going to be talking about here? And that's why, for the fact that we are condemning action and we are not supporting action, the government, just by banning all, is another form of, just by all going against violence, that we are said it repeatedly over and over. We can be speaking against violence and then deploying violence against us. This action of the government is a clear form of violence. You penalizing other people because of other people's action. I've never seen that. Never in my entire life. Like I said, I may not be educated. Maybe some of our friends who are privileged today to be in government, but I've never seen that. When I was a kid, or much smaller, when I do anything wrong, my parents grab me and deal with me, not to bring up my brothers and sisters and say, yo, you're allowed me to do this. They deal with me. And so for us, the government said they are banning us because of our police action. That is the justification to get chief. And so I take their justification, and as it is. So I can't say anything other than what they are giving.
So my follow-up question to that is this, because and let me let you know that both of us on here, for me specifically, I was Yana born in Liberia, and I was Yana born for a long time, from 1992 until I left Liberia some time ago, right? So we're not people. I was raided by city police. If you know the story back in the day, city police had the power to come and collect our markets, carry to city hall, we run there, and we don't get it back, right? So some of us have faced this problem before. So it's not that we're sitting here and we just magically got here. No, we went through the struggle. We know what it means to struggle and walk the streets of Monrovia, from Freeport all the way to Red Light, from Red Light to Cinco, from Cinco to Waterside, from Waterside back to Freeport. So I know the struggle and have experienced it. I have lived it. Now, but let us also look at some of the issues that are affecting the citizens of Liberia, including some of your members. As you are aware, there are a lot of accidents that have taken place where some of your colleagues have become disabled and are no longer going to be able to survive on their own without assisting. And I think you know that, and I hope you appreciate what some of the measures that have been taken by government is doing. I mean, but my question is this: what measure are your organization is willing to take to hold your members accountable to follow the safety regulation that government will put in place when it comes to motorcyclists?
And so, for us as institution, like I said, I think I gave you some of the different initiatives that we have started doing, which I believe this should be something that the entire government should pay key attention to, because many young people you find riding back, trust me, I'm not a musician, you're not a prophet, but there are a lot of young people who may lose their sight within 10 to 15 years from now, right? Because of the dust, the dye entering their eyes. There are young people who you find riding motorcycle today who are forgotten about school, right? So now, what can the government do that we have already started? Start focusing on vocational education, right? You talk about some of the mechanisms put in place, like the issue about accident and the rest of them. Look, nobody leaves from their homes with the intention to go and make accident, right? But guess what? We believe that we and the government can collaborate, right? To provide training, train us on the rules of the road, and not just to collect money from us. Because if you do that, if you are only interested in probably the fees that is being collected, in the name of maybe a tax, and you have zero interest in providing training for our people, because people must be trained periodically, because your minds must be refreshed all of the time, not just one of the time when there is a problem. When now most of our leader, there's a need, I will have the guy trained. There's a need. No, don't wait for a problem. Before the government could even agree for us to start paying tax, the new government, they went all around and promised that they're going to provide trainings. That is part of government responsibility. These young people, you are not providing jobs, they already found themselves riding middle back. So you provide a training for them. For us, financially, we are not strong. We are not capable enough to provide training for our people. But guess what we do? We go to partners, people that we think will be a help to us. The few cents or dollars we get from them, we send our people to school, we provide training. But we are not strong enough to provide training for all of the motorcyclists in Liberia. And that's why we think there is an opportunity that we can use to ask government to act as an international partner to be a help to us so that people can be trained.
So, Mr. Gray, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here today. And to our viewers, if you are listening to us on Freedom FM 87.9, you also listen to us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for being here. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please check it out. Go to Liberia Shall Rise and please subscribe. And also you can find us on Facebook as well. Liberia Shall Rise. We believe strongly that Liberia indeed will rise. And so, Mr. Gray, let me just ask you, I got two questions here, and I'm going to give it back to my friend, Mr. Sapirus here. One of the questions I have, look, when I was in Monrovia, there were times I took back regularly. And then there were times that I got into a taxi. I didn't have a private vehicle. I would get in a taxi. I just like to fellowship with people in the game Monrovia. And so one time I was sitting in my car and there was a lady next to me in a taxi. And she told me, she said, my friend, you don't live here. You're holding your phone like that. The motorcycle boys will come right close to the taxi and they will jerk your phone and they take off. So we're talking about crime here. You know, where these guys, they deliberately target you on a motorcycle. They get close to your taxi or close to the car you're riding in, grab whatever they can grab and take off. Or you stay on the sidewalk, these guys get very close, grab whatever they can grab and take off. And the second part of this question, I witnessed where indeed there was a vehicle that hit a motorcyclist, and this motorcyclist, everybody just came around that one vehicle. Like they were ready to take down this vehicle driver. They were ready to gang up on him and just take him down. What are you doing to address those kind of crime issues where they're jerking people things or where they are actually trying to gang up someone because someone hit the motorcycle?
And so sometimes the question is good, but again, we got to look at the root cause of these things.
Sure.
There should be no space for lawlessness in Liberia. I mean, nobody leave from their home and say, I'm going to make accident, I'm going to cause problem. These things, some of our friends are involved with are wrong. I mean, you don't do that. I mean, that's a negative picture about us. And we are condemned the time without number. Look, I'm not bragging, but I am one young person who believes that this country should be peaceful. I'm a focused person. I can easily get distracted. You're my friend. You can be my best friend. You do the wrong, I'm going to tell you. I don't care really about how people feel about me. I said the in front of camera, why journalists are there. I talk to my friends about some of the wrongdoings. These things are wrong. We have said this. But there's a root cause of this. When people feel that they can get justice, do you know what happened? It becomes dangerous for our state. When people believe that when they go to the police station or when they go to the court, they will be treated as a second-class citizen, then there's a problem. The next option will be to take the law in their hand, which is wrong. And that's why our justice system, we need to focus on it. Chief, most of the time, police officers in the street, you will have a motorcycle that will make accident, hurt himself. That motorcycle will be laying out on the ground. You know what the police officer will be fighting for? To catch a motorbike. Instead of thinking about the man's health, no, because he believes that when the back is caught and taken to the police station, right? His money is already safe. Can one make before that motorbike leave from that police station, he will get money all of that back.
Yeah, so Mr. Gray, I want you to address what you're doing when it comes to where these motorcyclists are grabbing and taking off, or they are trying to gang up on a vehicle driver who hit them. I know you're trying to address the root cause, but I want you to know what is Supreme doing to address those things, because those things, Monrovia is hot. Sometimes you just want to bring your window down and drive. I should not sit down and put my phone inside my trouser in my brief just to be safe. I want to be able to move. But if you see motorcyclists coming close, chances are they're eyeballing you, they're targeting you. What is Supreme doing to address that?
So some of the things we have done is to identify them. We have our friends in the field. We have our motorcyclists in the field. We identify them and report them to the police. That's what we do.
Okay.
But there's the thing. It can get dangerous at times if you even report them to the police. I tell you for free. I made more than 20 years riding back. I have interacted with the police. That's one and two. We have worked very closely with the police because our people normally encounter police officers on a daily basis because they are in the street. Let me tell you the sad thing about it. Sometimes we report the guys to the police. What mostly the police have interest in is the case. Why? To get money out of the criminals and release them back in the street. I sat on my motorbike and I take criminals from one place to another. Somebody sat on my body and they're discussing the last armed robbery scene openly without fear. These cases are being reported to the police with detailed information. I always say this: there's nobody more informed than motorcyclists. Motorcyclists can stay here now. You just enter the country, they know your house because we interact with almost everybody. Even if it's not you as a boss, one way or other, we are taking your driver home. Your driver and us have conversation. So we are connected to almost everybody. Okay, so when this issue happens, when we report them to the police, our frustration is how the guy get out of the police station. We ourselves we can be harmed. There are cases where motorcyclists are being harmed and their bags are stolen from them. We ourselves are veterans. But guess what? Our frustration is when these guys are turned over to the police. What happens? Because if you tell a man over to the police and the police, in no time you see that man also. Do you know what that man doing now? He coming for you. You that report that man coming for you. This guy may run now. If you careful, like your life is coming for.
Okay, so I want us to go to a second part of the question here, but let me ask one more question. I want to bring Mr. Sapalucia in because I know you guys have an upcoming protest, or at least you're talking about it. I want us to address that as well. But let me ask you this question. It seems as though everything in Liberia has become politicized. You know, politics is the game. Politics is what is happening. Do you, and I've heard accusations that you in particular or your organization is directly linked with the CDC, and everything you guys are doing is trying to disrupt the country. So are you in line with any political party, for example, in Liberia, and are you being bought by a political organization to disrupt the peace in the country?
So I get frustrated when people are raising this accusation. Chief, we purchase our motorcycle with our own money. Right? There is no political party that are giving us a cent. We are talking about people's livelihood here, Chief. Yeah? There's no political party. Somebody say we are linked with it. Come on. I'm even disappointed that now I'm not seeing too many political parties issuing statements in support of our action. I'm surprised that I'm not seeing too many politicians asking the government to lift up the ban. Okay, I'm disappointed. People want to politicize our just cause for our friends survivors. We are talking about people livelihood here, and people want to politicize the issue. Even if I am a member of any political party, for heaven's sake, how does that take away my sense of reasoning? How does that take away my sense of reasoning that I'm running to feed my family? Politician gave me that politician buy my motorbike. That politician give me money to buy my motorbike. The over 2,000 bad have been arrested. That currently park at different schools and depot. When the police were arresting, they asked for the party adika. They are sorry. And that's why I get frustrated when people want to politicize people just cause. We are talking about the 200,000 young people who survive on motorbike a day. That you are currently making it. Their children are not going to school. They are so sporty. They can't find a livelihood, and you want to politicize the issue? I think the best thing the government need to do is to live on this ban. That ban is not only solving we motorcyclists, even the passengers. Money will be also. Do you know how many persons, how many families are not going to send their children to school?
Yeah, so
Do you know how many?
let's get to Mr. Sapalucia. No, thank you so much for your passion. I do see it, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. And to our viewers in Monrovia, thank you for joining us on Freedom FM 87.9, and also on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook channel. You'll be the first to get these kind of programming as we bring them your way. Mr. Sapalucia, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, thank you, Sheriff, and thanks, Mr. Gray, for your time here today. In every society, there are laws, and these laws are intended to protect every citizen, including people who sometimes think that the law is against them. And I know, coming from the Yandabo background, there were places that we were told we had to be in the market to sell. If we sell in the street, it would take our market away. And it was intended to show a scenery that a stranger or a visitor coming to the country should see, that the sidewalk should not be covered up, that we should have space for pedestrians to walk, and we have the motor road for just the vehicles. But as we have seen in Liberia time and time again, pedestrians or marketeers and now the motorcyclists don't sometimes pay attention to those regulations that are there to govern their own safety as well. And we have seen many accidents. I have seen many accidents. I have been assaulted by, and I'm not against any motorcyclists. I have been assaulted by motorcyclists who hit my car and try to blame it on me, and these things. But my question to you, especially for the victims of motorcycle accidents, do you guys, the Supreme, because this is who you are representing, is the Supreme having any insurance policy for the victims of motorcyclists? Because when you riding your motorbike, you earning your living from there. But if I'm walking the street as a father of 2 or 3 children, and the motorcyclist hit me as an individual and destroy my life where I cannot afford for my kids, what covered that victim, that accident victim caused by the Supreme or SAC motorcyclists? What do you guys have in place to address those issues?
So basically, we have that's why we insure our bikes, and that is a government policy that before you access the road, your bike must be insured. You must be in full compliance. What they consider compliance is to have your driver license, your insurance, all of the non-different items. So the insurance cover that, but I think what you are speaking on is a holistic wherein, beside the individual motorcycle who buys are insured, for the institution to take to cover liabilities or people who are probably victims of accident. So for that, we are working on that. We don't have that policy in place wherein we can shoulder our membership responsibility as institution, and that's why we are asking the government for us to collaborate and have the issue resolved, because it's not just about now. Okay, that's why we say we can use this identical situation to solve all of the problems. And not just when something happens and then you rush, you bring measure or no go zone, and then when you realize again, you open the road, people come the next day when somebody phone, then you no. They solve the problem. They're not doing half big, because you're angry, you take a decision. You are not solving the problem. There's not the first time no go zone come in. Are they solving the problem? Are they stop motorcycle? Some of our friends for being lawless? No. Are they stop people from checking phone? No. They start a solution to our problem. Let's have a national conversation. What can we do to attract some of the people that even harming we the motorcycle don't take away our backs? So these are some of the issues. These are some of the conversations we need to start having.
Okay. So my follow-up question to that would be, how do I identify a member of the Supreme motorcyclists that are piling the street? Because you have so many unions, and if you're going to be accountable for somebody, you must be able to identify them. So how does one identify a member of your organization that you're representing?
So our institution, You come and obtain a membership. You have a vote. That's why I give you an exact CQ of members that we have. And you know, I told you, as far back, 2017, we had like 40,000, and our membership have increased. And you know, to 100,000. So I didn't just give this statistic out of my probably out of guessing. No, I gave it because of members who are filled in forms, who are full member of our institution.
Okay. So how do I Emmanuel or Sherif, how do we identify these people as members of Supreme? You may know them, but I don't know them, because if I want to hold them accountable for an accident, I should be able to direct them to their authority, the force honor, the union that they're part of. So how do the public, the Liberian public in Liberia, in Monrovia, and other places, how do they identify your members, so that when the time comes, they can say, you know what, this is a Supreme motorcyclist, so he just caused an accident. Let's look for Mr. Gray and report him to Mr. Gray. How do we do that?
So one of the things I think we can do is to have a one union system in Liberia wherein they can be legislated, like the Federation of Liberian Youth, the Liberia Marketing Association, for example. Let us not be having too many unions, because everybody consider us as motorcyclists. So I mean, to be pinpointing who for Supreme, who not for Supreme, who for the other one. No. So, like I said, we can have a national conversation, right? A bill can be passed, like other reputable institutions being legislated, like the Federation of Liberian Youth. When you're a young person in Liberia, obviously you will not say, I'm a member of PV Youth, I'm a member of Canada Youth. No. The government of Liberia know one group of people responsible for all of the young people in Liberia, which is the Federation of Liberian Youth. So for us, we think we too can be legislated, where government can allocate some money for trainings, right? For these problems to have them solved, because it's not just about seeing a problem today and applying at the future maybe solution, and then after some time you go back, you say that, you wait for a problem again, then you apply. So we need to save time. The whole world is running.
Yeah.
Right? We have more than solving one problem. We have not solved it.
Yeah, Mr. Gray, we got about 10 minutes here to end our broadcast. So I want to keep the upcoming protest for the last. But one of our viewers is asking a very important question. I know the question Mr. Sapalucia asked is a very important one. So if you guys have different federation or union, maybe by issuing ID to each of your members that represents you, or they have in that jacket, they can put a little logo that says Supreme. That will be an identifier in the future. I like that idea. So that's something for your executive team to consider. But I want to ask a question that one of our viewers is asking. The viewer is saying, when those motorcycles are confiscated, the police take one of your guys' motorcycle, they take it to Central or wherever police depot they take it to. What must that driver do in order to get the motorcycle restored to them? What is the process?
So the last time the police inspector general told us that, the last conversation we had, he said everybody who have their bags arrested should go and get their bag from the police station with no cost. Now, what's currently happening now is that many of our friends are going there and they are not finding their bag. So it is not just about probably applying artificial solutions, right? Before the beginning of this government, right? The first meeting we have with the Inspector General, we catalog our recommendation on black and white paper. We told him, Mr. Inspector General, say you have expressed interest in our safety. This is the solution. These are our recommendations. The first thing we told him now, let us bring the bag dealers on the same table with us. Let us bring the transport ministry on the same table with us. Let us have a conversation as a federation. The time you're using to go buy motorbike, you leave one, you kind of transport ministry, you run after how you call it thing, travel lesson, all this story. You go to insurance company, you go look for insurance, they all want charging, they all want charging. Oh, you save us all of those headache. Even the federal jacket he spoke about, can you identify anybody with it? No. Let us have a conversation. Let us meet with this stakeholder. You do one-stop shop. If I got money, I want to purchase a motorbike. Probably I just need to go to transport ministry to pay my money, and the full package will be given to me, including a reflector with my lesson plate indicated on that reflector. I don't necessarily have to be looking on the motorbike to see the small lesson plate to identify the motorbike. Because
you know, Mr. Gray, man, I hate to keep interrupting you here because I really want to leave time for us to talk about the upcoming protests and your plan. But if you see my good friend, Mr. Snapper, Mr. Smiling, because he is a person who believes in system and he is liking what you say. That one-stop shop thing, it makes it so much easier. This man has been digging about passport and all that stuff, so forget it. He enjoyed exactly what you're saying. But let us give you this time. We got about 5 minutes left. Let us give you the time. If Sapalucha, if you don't mind, please let's give him the time. Talk about your upcoming protest. What is it that you want to do? Where are you galvanizing your members? What is the plan? What do you intend to do tomorrow as we end our program for today? Go ahead, sir.
so again, I want to say thank you for the unique opportunity. On tomorrow, like we have agreed with our colleagues, we are agreed as executive committee members and membership of our institution. On tomorrow, on the issue about lifting the ban, releasing the bag, justice for our colleagues. No. We are done with that. All we are asking our colleagues to do is to come with their CV. Whether you are electrician, you have master's degree, you have PhD, whatever your qualification, prepare your CV and let meet at the Capitol building. Come with your reflector jacket, come with a helmet, come with your own water. It is our understanding that the government have job for us, and that's why they are telling us not to ride on the road. President Baka is a man of wisdom, and he have the power. Part of his responsibility is to make sure that we have job, we have better livelihood, and so that is part of President Baka's responsibility. So we are asking all of our motorcyclists to come for job on tomorrow, because if for too long we are crying on the government to lift up this ban. And who knows, because the president, I mean, he have the wisdom. We can't question the wisdom of the president, and so he has the power to do it. And so on tomorrow, God's willing, we will be assembling at the Capitol building. We will also be making a stop at the United Nations headquarters, and our people will be in their numbers coming there to receive joy from the government. And that's what we have decided to do. That's why we ask all of our motorcyclists to come with their CV, prepare your CV nicely, get neatly dressed. If there's a possibility that your officers could be assigned to you on tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Graywell, again, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I just want to leave the next 3 minutes here for me and my panelists to just end the broadcast. But I said thank you so much. I'm sure this will not be the last time we see you. And I want to thank our brothers in studio, Chris, and everybody else, our producer in studio. Thank you so much for allowing our brother to come on today to discuss about. Dr. George, let me come to you as we try to end the broadcast. We got about 3 minutes here to wrap things up. So if you guys can just kind of talk, let's just talk amongst ourselves as panelists. You heard what Trokon Gray said. I mean, he's a very smart young man, someone who's advocating. His advocacy goes beyond what he does personally. And I think he put himself at risk by doing some of these things. And so one of the things I'm taking away from here is this whole idea. If for some reason you remove motorcyclists from the street, not only are you impacting the lives of the driver, but you are impacting the lives of the citizen, because most people can afford motorcycle, they can't afford taxi. Most people can't afford to move around quicker. They can't. And some of the government officials even use these bikes, people who work in government buildings. And so by taking those individuals from the street, I truly believe you are actually going to see increasing crime again, because if these guys have nowhere to go to make money by riding a motorcycle, they will be back on the streets where they will actually start looking for other means of getting that money. Okay, George, let me hear from you, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be through the broadcast. I had a code I had to run to go and respond to. But yeah, I mean, change is important, but we all know that change takes time. So I believe the government should have had conversation with the motorcyclists. They're doing great service to our country. I have ridden motorcycle to run from one end of Monrovia to the other because of traffic. They could take me fast from one end to the other. We don't have enough vehicles in the country for transportation for our people. How they call it, the government through the MTA service were bringing buses in the country. Those buses we know did not arrive. So there's a lot of gap in transportation. Even the buses that the senator from Masorado County during his senatorial campaign said he was going to have in Monrovia, those buses are now being hired to metal steel. So there is a serious transportation issue in Monrovia, and the motorcyclists they do their best to fill in that gap. I do understand the situation with security. I'm sure Trokon also understands the situation. Some of his members, like any good thing, there are bad apples in it. Some of his members, they are security concerned. There's the issue of the helmet, but they have paid for those things. So the government need to sit with Trokon, the federation, have a serious meeting as to how to go forward. And again, this is he told us before I left the show, his membership is what, 71,000 people. So I want everybody to imagine 71,000 people without job in Liberia. And if we do the mathematics that says that every person that has a job in Monrovia is supporting 6 person, that is 71,000 times 6. That's a massive population of people that is being affected. So hopefully the Ministry of Transportation, the police will be able to sit. The government will be able to bring programs. And again, I like the way they protest. I mean, I'm not saying I'm endorsing the protest, but I like the intelligence behind the protest, that they are not going to be blocking the street. They're going to Capitol building tomorrow with their resume, with their CV, so that they tell a lot of people ready for the job that you have to offer. That would be great. It would be tomorrow the Burke administration where give 71,000 person job opportunity. It would be awesome. So thank you so much for coming, Trokon, and being educative. And I believe what you're doing is laudable, but I also believe that there should be continuous conversation if it's based on security, based on safety of the riders and the attitudes of the members of your association. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sabulisi, I'll take about 30 seconds and wrap things up. I want to hear back from Trokon. I want to hear maybe just 1 minute to do his closing. So Sabulisi, I'll take 30 seconds and just close.
Yeah, so I think I appreciate the young brother here for his advocacy, and I don't think the government is actually banning them from driving anywhere. I think just setting location, and I think I read something like that, and I hope that's what they're doing. But I think I like the way they are approaching it. But what my advice to them is, they should not allow, because once you start to do that, then it becomes political. Do not allow some of these lawmakers or politicians to infiltrate your group, because once you do that, you defeat the purpose of advocacy, right? And then it becomes tinted. Then people will say you are no longer advocating for your group, but now you have become a political actor. So you guys be aware of that. Be aware of those things, because there are going to be challenges. But as those challenges come, you guys continue to be focused. If they want to contribute, let them contribute from afar. That is the politicians. Do not mingle with them, because I'm telling you, it's going to defeat the purpose of your advocacy. But again, you guys are smart, and I think you guys got the right approach. But those systems, and please, if you guys can reach out to us, LSR is all willing to. We can work with you guys to share ideas on how we can mitigate this problem. Our job here is to work with you as we collaborate to make our country better. That's the intent for which we do this. Okay, Liberia shall rise, and if Liberia is going to rise, we got to collaborate with you, the politician, the government, and everybody else to make our country better. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sabulisi. And Trokon, if you don't mind coming back here, I just want to bring you back on. Just take 1 minute and give us your closing remark. I think your people heard you, the Liberian people heard you. And so just definitely go ahead and just do your 1 minute closing remark as we end the podcast.
So again, I want to say thanks to the family. You guys are doing extremely well. Liberians out there are doing extremely well. To our motorcyclists out there, I want to say thank you for your service to country. Everybody can provide their services probably through the same medium. I want to say thank you for taking our nurses to the hospital. Thank you for all you do for our country. Even if the government refuses to recognize your effort, for us who ride by, we know the kind of people we carry. We know the kind of service we run out to our country. I want to say thank you for your service. On tomorrow, please come peacefully. I beg you. Those of you who think that other people can use you for the wrong reason to come and disrupt our protest, it won't be safe for you on tomorrow, because our intention is to call on our government respectfully to make sure that this ban is lifted and our issues are resolved. To our motorcyclists, all I'm asking you, come with your CV on tomorrow or your resume, as the government is going to be providing jobs for every one of us. Please come with one helmet, with your reflector jacket, with your CV. Please make sure it is secure. Come with your bag. If you can even put your CV in your bag, maybe with your 2 or 3 bottles of water on tomorrow for us to assemble at the Capitol building, so His Excellency President Baka can provide job for us. Please be peaceful on tomorrow. God bless you. God bless all of you. Motorcycle, thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone who has supported this initiative. May God bless you and God bless Mama Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Trokon Gray. And again, friends, you have been listening to Liberia Shall Rise on the segment we call Table Talk. Next week, we are going to be here. Dr. George is going to be here with another brilliant Liberian who is going to be here to tell her story on how she made it from point A to point B. And that is the segment we call This Could Be You. Liberians, do not lose hope. We are all in this together. When we come to Liberia, you transport us, you help us, you make us comfortable. And so we do this for you. Thank you so much again for doing great. And thank you to all the bikers in Liberia. Be peaceful. Do not disrupt issues tomorrow. And let's have a peaceful protest. And hopefully your demand will be met. Thank you again, friends. And thank you to our Freedom FM family, 87.9. We thank you for broadcasting on the radio. And thank you for all you've done. My panelists, Dr. Emmanuel George, Mr. Emmanuel Sapalucia. Let's look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you and stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.